Derek Carr left today's Saints-Packers game with a shoulder injury, and in this video we will take a closer look at what might have happened to the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback. Welcome back everyone, my name is Dr. Stefan Wilson, and this channel is designed for the edutainment of the mechanisms of injury in the sports world. When we look at the video, we can see Derek Carr dropping back in the pocket and is quickly surrounded by the Packers defense. Carr is wrapped up in a tackle and sort of swung into the ground with his right shoulder making first contact. Carr is visibly uncomfortable while laying there on the ground, and the medical staff immediately attend to him. The initial report was that Carr had suffered a shoulder injury and he had x-rays taken at the stadium. While we don't know what the results of those tests were, we do know that Carr was later transferred to a local hospital in order to be checked for additional injuries, which apparently might include internal injuries. My initial reaction when viewing this play is that Carr's right shoulder is driven into the turf. This can cause all sorts of structural problems, certainly with a fracture being the most obvious. A fracture to his clavicle is possible, as well as damage to his acromio-clavicular joint or sternoclavicular joint. Any type of injury to those areas can be very painful and certainly enough to cause Carr to have to leave the game. I would also mention a rib fracture could also have occurred due to the impact down on his right side. Before I talk about Carr being transferred to the hospital, I also want to mention that the internal structure of his shoulder, the ball and socket joint, could also have been affected. Your shoulder labrum is an important piece of cartilage that allows the ball within the socket to rotate and pivot easily and smoothly. Any disruption to that cartilage can also be a significant injury. Now I'd like to discuss one of the more important parts of the media report. Following the x-rays that were taken at the stadium, Derek Carr was then transferred to local hospital for what might be internal injuries. The fact that he was not transferred immediately and only after the x-rays were taken leads me to think that there could be some sort of complication with his lungs. If a rib fracture had occurred and the endpoints of the fracture became displaced, there is the possibility that the fractured end of the bones can then puncture the lung, causing a very serious condition called a pneumothorax. Or, even without a fracture, just a significant blunt force to your side or chest can also cause your lung to simply deflate. Hopefully soon we will have more updates as to the exact nature of Derek Carr's injury.